The topic everyday creativity, I think, sounds challenging and simple in the same time, because to be creative, this is what we actually hear every time. Be creative, this is even a kind of a motive of our age. But to be creative every day, that's maybe not that easy to do. But I think in this course we have some evidence that this is something possible. For example, as long as we are in Finland, we expected to have some snow, but we didn't have too much snow yet. But as we became creative, we have done some snow. So here is some examples of some very creative snowflakes. Creativity is something we should take as a plural phenomenon. Maybe we should start to talk about creativities and multiple ways to be creative, and also recognize that even the most open school and most open way of teaching is not always appropriate to accept all forms of creativities. We also sometimes take it granted that creativity is something positive. But as creativity is very much depends on the situation, and also how to diverge from certain ways, certain standards, how to go further the actual limits. It can be also a very disruptive event or happening or way of thinking.
I think this has been a very rewarding experience. I've learned a lot, especially in terms of management issues and how to plan and coordinate this kind of process. When I created the instructions together with Christoph, then we've always had this kind of discussions that, okay, how to formulate these for the pre-assignments, for example, or for the discussion forums, that what and how they should discuss. There was always this kind of duality that, okay, we instruct people because we want to help them and to guide their learning process, but we wanted to avoid over-instructing them. So then we wanted to give them enough space to find out how they really want to do that they do. But at the same time, since it's an international project, we needed output that can be in a way comparable. So we've always fought with this with this challenge. When we plan whatever course or kind of series of courses, then we try to create opportunities for learning and design a learning path. It's quite challenging.
Interaction and having different perspectives, that's always bring the unexpected. This is what I feel here also, listening that how these groups getting surprised on some findings, what they have never expected before or never thought about. Changing perspective and also facing with the unexpected, I think that can also give a lot of experience, what can be used also in the future, that can be taken home.
It was very rich in this training that there were so many different perspectives, and I've learned a lot from the participants' contribution. So, for example, I think it was quite a good idea to ask for those country reports, to ask them to map what kind of creative practices they already have in their home countries. And actually, I think we've discovered quite a richness of diverse practices. And then when all these points of view have met in discussions, I think that was very rewarding. And I also must emphasize that the hosting schools that we visited also appreciated this diversity, also commented on that, okay, yeah, there were some unexpected questions sometimes during the school visits, and it was very exciting for the hosting teachers to be challenged, because these also create space for them to elaborate on their principles. It's always different to formulate your teaching philosophy in interaction with others.
I think the gym in the classroom, the freedom that students get, they're learning a lot, and when they have the need to go exercise, they can just do the exercise and after that they go back to work. So there's a lot of freedom for the children.
I liked how much trust they have between each other, students and teachers between each other, teachers and teachers, the school managements towards the teachers. And I think that in my practice, students don't feel that I trust them, and maybe I don't. I think that this is something that I have to evaluate with myself or with considering my practice and adjust. So, because what I've seen here is that if they feel trusted, they are going to do the work. Maybe not at first, oh, the teacher's not doing anything, no problem. But after a while, and combining it with teamwork, so when you don't do your part, your team will suffer, and your turn will come when you're the leader, and you have to involve your teammates, and then you're gonna feel if others not doing their part, how that feels. In a really practical and natural way, they are going to learn to work. They are going to be exigent with their work. I believe and I hope so. So I want to have more focus on this in my practice later on.
I've been inspired by the ideas who are totally different from how we think in Holland. I think that's quite interesting of this course.
We could notice students in their environment. They were absolutely free to move during the lesson. It doesn't happen in Italy. Even the role of the teacher, I think, is different. Sometimes teacher moves all around the different groups.
During our school visits here in Finland, we focused our attention on cooperation and collaboration between teachers teaching different subjects. As in Italy, we noticed collaboration and working on different projects depends on teachers' initiative. But it is not impossible to do it, obviously. And this is a good opportunity for students to better understand the connections between different subjects. And as it represents different teaching strategies, it is also a good point to improve students' motivation.
All kinds of changes have to start with a change of mentality. After these couple of days, I've started to be convinced that the strength of this educational system stays in the mentality.
I'm a head teacher in a small village in the southeast of Hungary. Let me continue it in Hungarian, because it's a bit easier for me. Amit tegnap és ma láttunk, kiemelve leginkább a tegnapit, találkoztunk egy olyan pedagógussal, akit Jukának hívnak, és a keresztény iskolába tanított. Amikor ugye feladatunk itt modulokba dolgozni, és a miénk a források és az anyagok felkutatása, a megfigyelése a különböző helyzetekben, intézményekben, és megkérdeztük tőle, hogy ezt ő hogy látja és miket használ, akkor azt emelte ki, illetve úgy kontrázott, hogy nem ezek a fontos dolgok, az a fontos, ami a kapcsolat a diákok és a tanár között. És ez az én hitvallásom is. Én azt gondolom, hogy akkor sikeres egy pedagógus, hogyha ez a kapcsolat jól működik.
It challenges you to be creative in the front of the class. Sometimes you get stuck in routine, and this experience I can use to be more creative.
It challenges completely. I realized that I'm doing some things wrong, and I realized that I'm doing some things right. I was also reminded of some things that I lost from my practice, but I feel I should put it back. What I really liked is the way they use teamwork in every way, involving others, like being a good, kind leader.
Ami újdonság és az innováció részhez tartozik, és amit mindenképpen fel fogok használni otthon, vagy igazgatóként megváltoztatni, ha van rá lehetőségem és lesz rá lehetőségem, akkor az mondjuk a környezet. a környezeti kultúra, amivel ők körülveszik az oktatást, a tantermet egyáltalán. Nagyon tetszett éppen Jukkának a felszerelése, hogy a gyerekeknek szabadsága van, fölkelhetnek, a berendezés, a külön kis helyszínek, ahova elvonulhatnak, vagy megnézhetik a megoldást. Meg a másik, ami nagyon tetszett, az önállóság. Ezek a gyerekek harmadikosként, hatodikosként, több osztályba is jártunk, önállóan dolgoznak már. És a tanár is megbízik, megint a bizalom jön elő bennük, meg a gyerekek is a pedagógusban megbíznak, és ez az önállóság működik egész órán, 45 vagy 75 percen keresztül, mert ilyen órán is voltunk, és majd az óra végére kialakul, elvégzi a feladatot.
The setting of the class is a bit different, so that students have the desk. The desk can change the shape and can change the position. It allows the groups to move, it allows students to move from one group to another group, to change the activity, and teacher can move all around to give a suggestion or to see what students are doing. The teacher isn't the actor, but is the filmmaker, we can say, that because he knows all the activities he wants to do, but he doesn't want to be the main character of the lesson.
The role of school. Everybody thinks, at least in our country, that school is just for learning from students' behalf, or school is just for teaching subjects, and I think that I would like to change the mentality and practices, of course, in order to build up a new role for schools as centers of community, as places for childhood experiences that can be useful in later years. I think that it is more complex than the teaching and learning space. It has to be a community, society, positive values, where they can meet with these values.
You can try to approach a company to make business with the students, so they really are included in the subject. Also, not only the teacher, but just listen to the children. That's very important, I think.
I'm a principal of a small school in Leeuwarden. I think we're quite creative on my school, but the creativity is done by artists outside the classroom. I would like that the teachers themselves are more creative. So I learned a few examples here by visiting schools or in the lectures, which I can tell them, and perhaps they are enthusiastic and do it themselves. For example, we went yesterday to a school where our children hanging on the ceiling and pulling up. Perhaps I can do the same with our teachers, and the children are also pulling up or something like that.
After this international training period, what I'd like to change in my school, according to the budget, is to have the opportunity to split the class in at least two groups and have the opportunity to work with my students closer, and in order to give them the opportunity to better understand things and work in a different way.
Partecipare a un programma di formazione europeo significa per me avere l'opportunità di confrontarmi con colleghi di tutta Europa e avere un respiro internazionale nella professione dell'insegnante. Aver visitato scuole finlandesi, aver avuto la possibilità di osservare luoghi, spazi e ambienti di apprendimento molto diversi da nostri, mi ha dato l'ispirazione per poi riportare una modalità organizzativa e un design della mia classe, ma non soltanto della mia classe, ma di tutto il mio istituto scolastico, che possa rispondere maggiormente alle esigenze dei bambini e degli studenti in termini di sviluppo dell'autonomia, del proprio benessere personale e della loro capacità di stare in classe.
Now I'm involved in the development of a new study specialization, which includes several courses, and we actually need to face very similar challenges. What would make sense for the students, and how could we make their learning kind of optimal within a very limited time frame? Because like in this course we had this 1 week time allocated for this intensive training. It's quite limited, and also at a university contact teaching is very limited. The challenges I faced here are pretty similar to my everyday challenges, so I'm quite sure that I can transform quite a few things.